Hey guys, so I have really great news. Well, two things actually. So one, I got into exchange school in America. So I'll be going to America from July or so to January. And I'll be studying at a school called Murray State University from about August to early December. I decided that because I got in and it was really difficult for me to find so much info, like all the important info that I needed, and it took me so much time to find everything, that I would video my journey from the start, so all the paperwork and everything, until when I leave the exchange school. I decided I'm gonna do like a series, and this is going to be my first episode. This episode is more for people that actually want to apply to exchange schools or want to know the entire process of me applying to the school and all the paperwork that I had to do and getting my visa. So yeah. And the second news is I'm actually going to start a blog. I'm going to be doing some videos and then some blog posts, and all the info about the paperwork that I needed to collect or give. It's going to be all on my blog, so if someone's interested more about the paperwork and all the things that they need to do, it'll be on my blog. So I'm going to start by saying how everything started. I looked at possible schools that my school offered for me to go to exchange to, and I liked Murray State University. Mostly because of the location, and they have music courses that I thought would be really great for me to take because I'm interested in music business, which my school doesn't offer. When I picked that I'm gonna apply to that school, I made a study plan, so what courses I'm gonna take at the school that are equivalent to the courses at my school. I applied to the school about, I think it was January 20th. And then around March 8th, so I'm looking at my notebook because there's so much info. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notebook. So about March 8th, I got the results that I was offered a place. And actually only one person from my school was offered a place to that place. So I didn't even think I would get in, but I did. After thinking if I should go or not and talking to a few close people, I decided that I should accept the offer, because at first I was thinking, it's going to be too expensive for me. It was supposed to be $13,500, and I was like, I can't afford that. And yeah, so talking to some people, they're like, you should do it, it's a great opportunity. And so I accepted the place. About 2 weeks after getting my results, there was a general info session for a lot of different schools. They just, info from my school about exchange and what to expect. I got some new info, but I didn't get too much about my school specifically because I was the only one going there and they hadn't been partnered for 5 years. Later, I found that the exchange semester, it would only cost $6,750 because I was only going there for half a year, which was a huge relief because that's a lot less than $13,500. So I did a lot of research about housing options, if I should live on campus, off campus, course options, what courses I'd like to choose, about visa, and then I had to send a ton of paperwork to the exchange school. It's a crazy amount. Just a few things is my high school grades. I have to give all my high school grades, my high school diploma, bank statements, insurance papers. I'm gonna list every single piece of paper I had to send on my blog because I'm not going to go into everything now. It's just too much. Yeah, and then I applied to the school through their application. So I actually had to apply pretty much from my school and the exchange school. And then in April, after I sent, everything, all my papers to the exchange school, they looked through them. Everything was fine. I received my DS 2019 paper, which is the paper you have to give when applying to a visa. So it states that the exchange school is actually my sponsor, so they're taking me in. And I got other welcoming documents too, which I'll say everything in my blog, all those documents. Then after getting my insurance papers approved in like beginning of May or so. My visa process started. So it took me about almost 2 months just to send all my papers to the exchange school, get them approved, and then get my insurance papers. My insurance papers were the ones that were kind of slowing me down because I'm not allowed to apply for insurance from my insurance company 3 months in advance, so I had to wait 2 weeks or so before I could apply for insurance. When the insurance was approved, I started my visa process. Then I realized, oh, I needed a passport picture and the American specific one that they have on their webpage. They tell you, I think it's like 2 inches by 2 inches or so. Then there's other documents and school papers and things that I'll also mention in my blog. Then I collected all the papers I needed and I started the DS 160, I think that's what it is, application, which is the visa online application. That was fairly easy. Then I booked a visa time on a different webpage, which I had problems with because it wouldn't let me create a username. So I had to message the embassy, but thankfully they replied quickly. And I booked a time for May 16th. So I prepared for the visa interview just mentally. I didn't know what questions they would have, so I just tried to prepare myself as best as I could. So I went to the US Embassy early, make sure to go early, and everything took about an hour, so a little bit over an hour. First, they checked all my papers. I had all my papers. I'll put pictures in my blog. It's crazy how many papers I brought with me. They took the most important ones out that they needed. And then they took my fingerprints. The third was actually the interview. The person that was interviewing me, he looked through all my papers, made sure that I have all the documents needed, and asked me, why am I going to America? And so I replied, well, for exchange. What exchange school am I going to? And I said Murray State. What is my current school? So I replied to that. And how will I finance my trip? And then, am I excited to go? That's a bit like, what is happening? But I was like, yeah, of course, I'm excited. And yeah, so he looked through all my papers and looked at my grades and noticed that they were really good. And then he said, yeah, I'll get my visa within a week. But I actually got my visa that same week, Friday. So I'm going to America. My next exchange series is going to be episode 2, and from that episode you'll see me going to America, buying my plane tickets, and you'll see me packing. And then for my other episodes I'll have, going for orientation and setting up my dorm room and things like that. So I hope you subscribe to my channel, you like this video, and if you're thinking about applying for exchange, I really hope this helped you. And for those that were just interested in all the paperwork and everything I had to do, there's a lot, but I think it's going to be worth it.